We are creeping up on the first week of NFL football. The Dallas Cowboys are going to be playing in a real game for the first time since their playoff loss to the San Francisco 49ers. Some things have changed since we last saw this team in January. A lot has stayed the same. The Cowboys changed offensive play callers, added weapons on offense like Brandon Cooks and Deuce Vaughn, and retained all of their top talent from last year's 12-5 season. But even with a more mature team, a better wide receiver room, a better running back room, and a talented tight end group, there could be one thing that gets this Cowboys team in big trouble in week 1 and throughout the entire season. So that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Let's get into it. I have been very high on the Cowboys front office moves throughout the entirety of the offseason. I thought they did a good job of adding talent on both sides of the ball, keeping guys that made a difference last year, and overall having the best offseason we've seen in quite some time. But there was one thing that I felt needed a tad bit of upgrading, and the front office didn't really make it happen: the offensive line. The starting five of Tyron Smith, Tyler Biadasz, Zach Martin, and Terrence Steele is super solid. And most fans would take that starting lineup every day of the week. The only problem is, once one of these guys goes down with an injury, this offense could be in big trouble. We're seeing it right now with Tyler Smith, the Cowboys' second-year left guard. We heard from Jerry Jones that Tyler Smith had to come off the practice field because of discomfort in his hamstring. And of course, Jerry blew it off as no big deal. And we should all know by now, if Jerry says he's not concerned about it, we should be really concerned about it. So Tyler Smith got an MRI, and of course, he came back with a tweaked hamstring that could keep him out of the game this Sunday. On Wednesday, Mike McCarthy said that left guard Tyler Smith hamstring won't practice today, working instead with Director of Rehabilitation Britt Brown, leading to a pretty thin offensive line getting even thinner. So let's talk about what the Cowboys could do behind Tyler Smith if he doesn't play in this game. I think there are two options, and neither of those include the guy that the Cowboys signed as a depth piece in Chuma Edoga. We haven't heard much about him since he was carted off during a Cowboys practice over a month ago. That leaves us with Asim Richards and TJ Bass. Richards was the Cowboys' 5th round pick out of UNC Chapel Hill this past draft, and honestly, during his first preseason, played a lot better than I expected. He got work at both left tackle and left guard, showed that he could move in space, be a pulling blocker, and hold up pretty well in the passing game. An interesting stat that came out of his impressive preseason: left tackle / left guard Asim Richards played 190 snaps in the preseason and allowed just 5 total pressures according to Pro Football Focus. He did not allow a single quarterback hit or sack. But like we usually have to do about this time of the year, we have to remember that it is the preseason. So it's hard to imagine that the Cowboys could just plug him in and he would play that well in week 1. So there is another option, and that is TJ Bass, the undrafted rookie fans were excited to see make the 53-man roster. While Richards had his own impressive stats from the preseason, Bass might have had a more impressive one. TJ Bass was the only Cowboys offensive lineman to not allow a single pressure during the preseason. That is insanely good for an undrafted rookie. But like with Richards, would the Cowboys trust just plugging and playing him at left guard if they needed to? I'm not really sure. And even though both guys played extremely well during the preseason, I still don't feel comfortable like I would with Tyler Smith at left guard. Playing against All-Pro Dexter Lawrence is going to create some serious problems for this Cowboys interior. That's a lot of strength, power, and agility at defensive tackle, and a young offensive lineman like Bass or Asim might get pushed around a little bit. I do have to say one thing though, I'm just glad it's not Josh Ball. The reason that this worries me is because Dak is usually at his best when the front of the pocket is kept clean. It's when the center and guards get pushed into his lap that he really starts to struggle with his timing and accuracy. So I am really worried about this Tyler Smith injury and what it can mean for the Cowboys in week 1 and for the rest of the season, because the offensive line feels like it's one injury away from really being in trouble. Hopefully all of this won't be a problem and Tyler will be ready to go and we can get out of MetLife Stadium with a big win. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I love you all. Bye.